Alright guys, second video for the day. We're going to talk about the roadmap. We wanted to break these up because the first video was already approaching 20 minutes. Just talking about the patch. So yeah, obviously roadmap is going to be a big video guys, so strap in, get a drink. Alright.
Or two.
You might actually need the two drinks actually, yeah. I'm already halfway through my other drink. Alright, so let's do this. Let's jump into it. 3.14, 3.15, 3.16, and we do have quarter one of 3.17. So we'll hide those ones for now. And let's talk about 3.14. So locations, obviously we still have Crusader. We have Orison Landing Zone. Gameplay, we have thruster capacitors, weapon capacitors, shield capacitors, and radar scanning and pinging.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so they've added a few extra things to that. Tentative. Missile guidance and control rework, which is obviously will make you happy. Missile operator mode, which was seen on Inside Star Citizen. Law and Order System 2 for Surrender. We also get the RSI Constellation Taurus. And we also get the Volumetric Clouds version 1. Presumably this is going to be for Orison. Let's break down 3.15 and then we'll talk about changes. For 3.15 we have FPS, radar and scanning. We have the active feature personal inventory, which is obviously the start of item cache. We have tech healing, tier 0. We have bombs and space mines. We have hacking tech, NPC healing, the Aegis Redeemer. Thank God that's still on there. The A2 Hercules Starlifter, and the Crusader Ares Starfighter, and the Ares Starfighter Inferno. We also have the Greycat Multi-Tool, healing attachment. The Cure for Life Mid-Tool. We have the Burning size 7 laser for the Ion and the Inferno. We have the Ballistic Gatling for obviously the Inferno and the Ion. Ship interior and exterior culling, which should help with some of the server load and stuff like that, and the graphics load and stuff on your GPU. And then on 3.16 we have Orison version 2. We have Weapon Charge Drain tier 0. We have Player Slide. We have Active Feature EVA version 2. We have Prone. Active Feature Ladders tier 1. So obviously ladders are getting a rework. Active Tier Physicalized Weapon Handling. So this actually introduces character animation while interacting with and customizing FPO weapons. The aim is to add tactical look and feel to weapons handling, support a wider goal of high fidelity character interactions. So the way you carry your weapons, the way you reload, stuff like that might get a rework. The way you mount sights and stuff on, I would presume.
So I would also like to point out something. 3.14 looks like 3.13 looks. I mean, not 13. 3.14 looks as if it's going to be changing a lot, because in this roadmap update, 3.14 lost about 95% of its items.
I don't think it's that much, but we'll get to the things that have been removed in a sec.
It literally wasn't that much.
Well, we'll be able to check. Salvage tier 0 tech, 0 push pull. Hull C has been added to 3.16, which is obviously really cool. We suspected that was going to happen because of ship to station docking. When that came in, I said, yeah, the Hull C would probably be about 6 months away. Ship shield emitters. Then we also have the multi-tool salvage. We have the dynamic floor alignment for your elevators and stuff like that. And we have the Origin M50 swapping engines. And then the 3.17, we have the Hangar Manager app. So this is the creating a mobiGlas app that emulates the functionality of ASOP terminals, allowing players to spawn ships, claim insurance, and a cross the rate of landing services to maintain their ship. So you're going to be able to spawn it now from your mobiGlas and not from the terminals?
Maybe.
Cutting Tier 2, player interaction experiences. So this is the player interacting experiences is a holistic array of complementary features and systems, all relating directly to the player status, item status, environment status, as well as interaction with both game world and objects within it, are created under these systems. So it really doesn't say much, does it? Player interaction experience is a heuristic array of complementary features and systems, all related directly to the player. Player status, it really doesn't explain much at all, does it? Then we have the Scorpio. Guys, we suspected this. We actually said this in our video breakdown of the Scorpius. We said it was less likely coming in Tier 1 or Tier 2. Quarter 1 or Quarter 2 of 2022. And the Hull A. I'm surprised we're getting the Hull C before the Hull A, to be honest. But apparently. So let's talk about changes. Let's talk about Ferretz's favourite thing, changes. The following deliverables have been added to the release view, which is weapon capacitors, thruster capacitors, shell capacitors, planetary volume, clouds, RSI Scorpius, Hull C, Hull A, and the Hangar Manager app. So actor teams, during the planning and review last month, actor teams have come to the conclusion that the additional time, polish, and refinement is necessary for the following features. So for 3.15, they've moved to 3.15 is the personal inventories, tech, healing, tier 0, FPS radar, hacking, NPC healing, cure life med tool, and the multi-tool healing attachment. Move to 3.16 was the weapon change, active feature, which is EVA tier 2, salvage tier 0, 0G push pull, grey cap multi-tool salvage. Move to 3.17 was ladders, player interaction experiences, and cutting. Temporary removed. So has been and will be discussed and be re-added with discussion when obviously they work out where it's going to fit. I would say this is probably going to drop in, I would say 3.17 or 3.18. Weapon magazine strip refilling, which is a shame because I was looking forward to that. Active feature, lockers and inventory, fire extinguishers, fire extinguisher tech, weapon misfire, and vehicle module swapping. It's a big shame about the vehicle module swapping, actually. After planning meetings, tasks have been reevaluated to a more gradual process and then anticipated. Therefore, it doesn't have a set date for migrating legacy vehicles, XML to data core. Shield system tech replacement, which I'm not too worried about that being off the roadmap because, to be honest, we just got SDS shields, so, you know. Small homes and outposts. As mentioned above, the progress tracker selection, this feature has been changed in the scope and has become temporarily removed from the release view until it's been properly scheduled out. So, colonialism, the small outposts and homes have been removed for the moment. I think that was originally 3.15 anyway. So there's a little bit that came off 3.14, but to be honest, it's actually not that much, really, Fizz. Really. Personal inventories and... Was FPS radar on there originally? I'd have to double check.
Yes, FPS radar was originally on there.
Yeah. I think hacking was originally so it must have been 3.14 because it's been moved to 3.15. And the med. So yeah, there's a couple of things, but I think most of the stuff moved to 3.16 was 3.15. I think things have just been shuffled back a bit, to be honest. I think 0G push pull was originally 315. The salvage, I think, was actually originally 315 as well. That's all been moved to 316. To be honest, I'm still looking forward to 314 and 314. Mainly because we get Orison, which is pretty cool. We get a whole bunch of new capacitors, which is pretty cool. We do get the FPS radar and pinging, which is cool. And we also do get your missile rework. And we're also getting Law and Order Surrender as well as the Taurus, if anyone actually still cares about that. And we're getting Planetary Clouds as well. So it's a little bit lighter, sure. But it's still going to be a pretty good patch because, well, we're going to have Orison to explore, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about 314? Let's break them down in rows. So 314, what do you guys think about it now? Fez, you want to go first?
314 seems a bit empty right now.
Yeah, you don't think like things like Crusader and stuff like that are going to tie you over for 3 months, or
For 3 months? No.
Probably not for 3 months. No.
I mean, let's take a look to see what is in 3.14. Let me just pull it up real quick because I don't have it up already.
I can read it out. So this is basically what I read out before. Crusader, Orison. So we all get the capacitors for the thrusters, weapons, and shields. Radar scanning, missile rework, Law and Order system surrender, Taurus, and planetary volume clouds. So it is light. It is a lighter patch. But then,
I mean,
yeah.
I am heavily looking forward to the planetary clouds.
Yeah.
That is going to make things look a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. And also keep in mind too, I wonder if there's something in regards to the space whale happening with Orison. I get the feeling with Orison there's more than just buildings that have been added. Like we're seeing this, like them mentioning things like these tours. We found that data code, that data pad the other day, where they were talking about the Genesis going through and giving tours. I have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be more on Orison than just buildings to add. I think they're doing a lot more stuff in the background. What about you, John? What are your thoughts on 314, for example?
I'm looking forward to Crusader and the Orison endings. That's going to be a cool one. That'll be the first gas giant in. I'm gonna be curious to see when they do the rework of Port Olisar.
Yeah, well, we really haven't really heard much about that at all, have we?
No, I don't think we've heard anything.
No. To be honest, I'm okay with them taking a little longer to do that because, well, to be honest, that's our season 4 for the machinima. But I was going to say, but regards to Orison and what happens with that, yeah, like we really haven't heard anything that's happening with that. So maybe we're going to keep the old Orison for now, and then when they'll just upgrade it in future, maybe. Yeah.
You might see it. Well, my guess would be possibly when Pyro drops.
Maybe. So
I mean,
sorry, yeah, first, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
I mean, you're talking about Orison V2.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we're not sure what's happening with Orison. Orison's supposed to be we don't have any docking for Orison. We don't have any ship to station docking or anything involved in it yet.
Maybe it's not supposed to have it.
But this is the thing. Orison is the major landing pad or the major stop-off for all of trade for the Stanton system.
No, it's not. That's Port Olisar, not
Sorry, that's what we meant. Sorry, we meant Port Olisar. Sorry.
I'm not forcing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
I feel like Port All-Star will get a rework.
Yeah, but that's yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. It's brain fart. I was doing something in the background. Yeah, we're talking about Port Olisar. Sorry, we're talking about when Port Olisar is going to get their rework. We haven't heard anything about it yet, but at the end of the day, Port Olisar is supposed to be the major trade hub for the Saturn system. So, why is there no ship to station docking for that? You know, how are you going to get like the Hull C, for example, which is coming in what was it 316? How are you going to have ship to station docking with the Hull C and not have it come into Port Olisar? So if they're going to do an upgrade, they got to do it soon. Like,
Yeah.
the Hull C is fucking coming, man. Like, you know, like you can't have the Hull C landing on the planets. The only thing it's going to be able to do is to dock to the stations. And what? Port Olisar's the only one. I think Port Olisar's the only one that doesn't have any of these extra stations, like, or extra models like cargo or refinery or anything added to it. Like, all these other stations all got a rework, except for Port Olisar. So they've got to do something because, already as it is now, Port Olisar is becoming a ghost town because, well, no one can spawn there. And at the end of the day, people are just flying up to the space stations and using them as their base of operations. You know, like, they need to do something to sort of bring life back to Port O. What are you going to say, Fizz?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think I was.
You started talking. Oh, that's all right. But yeah, like, yeah, with Port O, there's got to be a rework happening, and if they are going to do something, it's got to be soon.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
you would think they'd want to have Stanton done when they get a Pyro out.
Well, it's not just that, but like the Hull C. Like I'm saying, is that the Hull C, the Hull C isn't. It's not going to be able to land on the landing pads.
Oh, fuck no.
So the Hull C is going to have to dock to the stations, and the only one that it can't dock to is Port O, which is supposedly the major pipeline for the Stanton system. So the Hull C is going to be like, hey, Port O, nice knowing you. Can't dock to you. Bye. And then go to the other stations. Like, it's just... They're going to have to do something with it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why this stuff is being pushed back. Maybe they're, like, working on that in the background. They don't want anyone to know.
Maybe.
Is there any... Fez, have you heard anything about this Xeno threat mission that's supposedly coming with maybe the live event? With the...
Not a peep.
No.
Not a peep.
From what I've heard, there's theory going around that there's going to be a live event with Xeno threat during the expo, maybe before or during or after the expo. So maybe they do something with Port O then, and they're holding on to it. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. What do you guys think about 315 then? Do you are you still looking forward to 315? Do you feel better about 315 Fez than 314?
Yes.
Obviously, you get the Redeemer.
Oh yeah. My favorite ship that's not the Idris.
We also get the Ions. We also get NPC healing. We get a hacker rework, space bombs and mines.
Yay.
Healing T0, personal inventories, active rework, and the FPS radar scanning. And then 316, obviously we have things like the Hull C, we have the ship emitters, which is kind of cool. 0G push-pull and salvage. So we're still getting salvage. Good news, everybody. Salvage hasn't been yet delayed again. Ladders rework, physicalized weapon handling, prone. So 316 like slide train. 316 looks like it's a lot of FPS reworks plus Horizon.
So
Yep.
Good question. Well, I mean, what does I quick a quick thing real quick. 3.17. Did we already cover that yet or no?
We've sort of gone through and we've spoken about what's on there, but we're going to talk about it now. Yeah. So
Okay,
317.
so
Sorry. Yep.
I'll continue.
317. We have Hangar Management App, Cutting T0, Player Interactive Experiences, Scorpius, and the whole A. So there's not a lot on there, but we also do have a lot of things that have been added to the progress tracker. So the progress tracker has added identity service. Identity service will be a proximity service that will rely on information about accounts between the RSI platforms, Spectrum, and the game client. AI combat is first iteration of untrained characters, such as civilians, being able to react to battle scenarios. That's obviously important for like ships and stuff, but also for like the outposts and stuff. AI planetary navigation. First pass at system allows NPCs to move on planetary surfaces using dynamically navigated mesh. Ship to space station clients, hospitals, interior locations. Clinics throughout the verse where players can heal, revive, and purchase medical supplies as well as life insurance. So that was added as space station clinics. Grimhex hospitals is obviously hospitals for Grimhex. Logging queue is creating a shared logging queue to prevent massive login waves from negatively affecting backend services, which is why your backend services might be affected right now, Fez. Cockpit button animations. Finalizing the Gladius dashboard will allow multiple states and fully demonstrate with procedural animation for each state. Derelict spaceships. Ooh, points of interest. Points of interest will be scattered on planets. There will be derelict ships with some type of activity, puzzles, traversal, hostile AI, and some type of reward for solving said activity.
You're completely going on past, like 3.17, right?
Yeah. We're talking about the progress tracker.
Right. I just wanted to say one thing though. In 3.17, in the gameplay section, player interactive experience. That's not for veteran players. That's for new players.
You think that's like hints and tips and stuff like that?
Yes. Why would they need that in this game unless they're planning on maybe going to a viable product maybe next year?
Well, that's what we suspected. We suspected that CitizenCon was going to have a release date, and then after that, they would for Squadron 42, which was most likely going to be the end of the year after. But you got to remember that this is relating to the players' status, items, environment status, as well as interaction with both the game world and objects within it. So yeah, it could be hints and tips. Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
As for the rest of the stuff that's a progress tracker, I like the derelict space stations, spaceships. Mission manager updates alongside convenient to building blocks. This feature includes an asset update UI in the support of dynamic missions. So the hull D and hull E were added to the progress tracker as well. We'll break down the time frame in a sec for these guys. Building the implement and balancing the MISC's heavy cargo for the hull D and hull E. The Origin 600i gold standard. Obviously implementing and polishing and optimizing it. Grey Cat PVT gold standard. Lava Tech. This is Pyro. Implementing, polishing, and optimizing features required to bring. Implementing features to bring the Grey Cat PV. Modifying and tuning river tech to produce impressive lava rivers and lakes. Ecosystem enhancements, enhancing the realism of planets and animals and their aspect of behaviors to better immerse them in their respective environments. These deliverables were previously taken off the roadmap and are now returning, which is Bounty Hunting version 2, multi-grid SDF, capital ship destruction, and weapons misfire. They also added small homes outposts and the Scorpius. So, alright, let's break these down. Identity service will be relying on information between the RSI platform and Spectrum. We don't really care about that, do we? Much. Nah. Unrestrained combat. So this is the way that the AI, the civilians will react when they're under attack and stuff like that. This I can't find. I'm just on the I can't find on the progress tracker. Oh, there it is. So this looks like it's actually Q2. Looking at the untrained combat, it looks like it's going to be finished by the end of May. So expect it maybe Q2, maybe. So interesting. Planetary navigation for AI. This also looks like it's in May, June. So I would suspect that was going to be also for maybe Q2 as well. So 314. Space station clinics, hospitals, interiors. Space station clinics, when's that due? Space station, hospital, interior locations. This looks like it's going to be Q3. (2021). Grimhex. So Grimhex looks like it's going to be Q3. Area 18, it looks like it's going to be Q4. Levski, interior hospitals, looks like it's Q1. Does that mean we're going to get Levski maybe in Q1? Does that mean we get Ninx?
No, because remember, it's just that they're doing work on it. That doesn't mean it's gonna come at that time.
True.
It just means that whatever work that they are doing for that project is going to be finishing up on that said date.
That's true. The login queue. That looks like it's Q1 for 2022. Cockpit button animations. Do we really care about this? I suppose we probably should. That looks like it's Q1 as well. Derelict spaceships. Now this is what I'm actually interested in. This looks like it's Q4 of 2021. So we might get that in maybe the end of the year. Maybe. Like Fez says, guys, this is obviously just when they're working on stuff, so we're just getting a rough idea of when to expect it. Mission manager updates is Q1 of 2022. The Hull D is Q1 of 2022 for work-wise anyway. And the Hull
you mean Hull C?
No, D and E. So C we know is coming in 316. 315? When was the whole C? 315?
It's
Um,
yeah, it's 316 ounce there and 317 now.
No. So
It's hull A.
we're
That's
getting
listed.
the hull A, hull E, and the hull D are all getting. We know the A is coming in quarter one, but the D and E are getting work done in quarter one as well. So we might get the A, D, and E all in quarter one.
Yeah, so we might get that the whole near enough the whole series in.
Yeah, well the C we know is coming in 315, 314, 315 I think it was. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it looks like the whole C is going to be the test bed for everything, which kind of makes
you want to
sense.
know something funny?
Sure.
There's no a mention of the whole B.
That's true.
Nobody cares. Nobody
No
cares
one
about
cares
the whole.
about the whole B. Yeah.
Actually, the whole B is under deliverables. It's in
Oh.
quarter four. Sorry, Fizz.
2021.
2021, yep. So, looking at the whole series, the A and B is quarter four of 2021. The whole D and whole E is quarter one of 2022. And the whole C is also quarter four 2021. So A, B, C are all getting work done up until including quarter four, and then the D and E are then in quarter one of 2022. So maybe we get the A and B as well as the C. But then they said the A was going to happen in quarter one of 2022, didn't they? So maybe it's not going to be done in time. So we might get A, B for quarter one, and then just a C for quarter four, 2021. Who knows? Origin Gold Standard, do we really care about that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll look it up. That looks like it's going to be working in work done in quarter four of 2021. Grey Cat Gold Standard, do we care about that?
Yes, we do.
That looks like it's quarter one 2022. Lava Tech, this is where we care. This is the big stuff. That's quarter one of 2021. And the ecosystem enhancements is quarter one as well of 2022. We'll look up bounty hunting. Is quarter one of 2022. Capital ship destruction, just when we go and blow up Fizz's Idris.
Yeah, right.
Quarter one of 2022. Weapons misfire and work and wear. Holy shit, there's a lot of that happening. There's a lot of work on that. It starts in quarter three and ends in quarter one of 2022. Right up the end of it too, so it might even be a quarter two thing. Alright. And then small homes and outposts, and the Scorpius is the last thing we have to look at after that. Let's just do outposts. So outposts, homestead, independent, and outlaw is happening in quarter one, and the outpost theme variances is happening in quarter one as well, but finishing right at the end. So maybe quarter one at the end, maybe, or maybe a quarter two thing. And then the last thing we obviously know is the Scorpius, which we know is coming in quarter one of 2022. Okay, so here's interesting. So the Scorpius is having work done all the way up from quarter one 2020, from now all the way up to quarter one of 2022.
It's probably the freaking turret that's on the rail system.
I suspect the Scorpius is going to come out in the next patch.
No,
Yeah.
it's set for freaking 2.7. I mean 3.17.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not a 3.17.1 patch.
So
Judging by this, they're working on this all the way up until the end of March for 21. For 22, sorry. Quarter 1, 22.
mm-hmm. It's a
I
long time for a freaking heavy fighter, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of weeks. 65 weeks.
For a heavy fighter,
Hmm.
that actually doesn't sound right.
So they're not starting the work, the VCA or the EUVC. So that's the vehicle teams. They're not starting on it until quarter 4 of 2021.
Oh well, then okay, that makes sense.
So that gives them 6 months to design it and bring it in. I'm going to tell you guys now, I would suspect the Scorpius to happen in the next patch. I would not expect this to go through and to happen as of a 3.17 or whatever it is, 0.0 patch. It's going to be a next patch.
Probably.
Like, yeah, I'll send you guys this. You look at this on the. You look at what I just posted in general.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems kind of fishy to me.
Yeah. And look, obviously, I don't care if they need to put it as the next patch. Then go for it. Knock yourselves out. I'd rather it come out working than come out in a broken state.
Yeah.
All right. So apart from that, after all that breaking down the roadmap, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? General thoughts, opinions, feelings, complaints?
Well, wasn't the Banu supposed to come out in like quarter 1, or is that? Or am I
no.
not remembering that correctly?
Let's actually look up the Banyu Merchantman. Banyu Merchantman is still on. At the moment, the vehicle concept art actually has it at the moment, and they'll have it up to quarter 3, halfway through quarter 3, and then it switches over to the vehicle content, which is EU, and they'll have it and work on it all the way up until mid-March for 2022. So it might be coming out in quarter 1, maybe.
Yeah, probably quarter 2.
We might get the Banyu and the Scorpion as a next patch.
Yeah.
I think you're wishing too hard for the Banu.
Well, I'll tell you at the moment.
I mean,
I'll tell you now at the moment, judging by this timeline I'm watching, at the moment the Banyu is going to be finished before the Scorpion. Like the Banyu looks like it's going to be finishing towards the end of or halfway through March, and then you look for the Scorpion. Scorpius is actually at the end of March. Yeah, look over. You compare those two timelines.
Nah, I'm not
What?
seeing it.
You're not seeing it? It's because you don't
No.
want to see it.
The Banu Merchantman has been rejected by CIG. CIG hates it. That's why they secretly canceled it.
Wow, Fez is
And you know it's
hate
true.
all hate comments. Feel free to address them to Fez's personal email address.
Yeah, please send hate mail.
No, the venue at the end of the day, the venue has been delayed because at the end of the day, it's a big ship, and
Yeah.
they've had problems with it because when they initially said it was going to be this size, and then it's blown out because of all the stuff that they were going to add to it. So they've blown it out in size. Something that was supposed to be 150 is now almost as bigger. I think it's actually the same size as the Carrack. So it's
Yeah.
grown in size, and they still haven't got all the stuff in it. Actually, I think it was some guy. Actually, I was going to do a response video to it. Actually, Pez is the one I was talking to you about. Some guy actually made a really, really interesting video talking about it. But at the end of the day, I disagree with him on a couple of things. But Leadnut Gaming did a really good video talking about the Benyo Merchantman. And he's talked about the size and everything like that. And his reason for it being delayed was because of the fact that when they initially concepted it, the metrics were all off. You know, they originally concepted it with having this, cargo size, all this cargo area and these shops and, and this observation room and, all these sort of living quarters and because of all the concept that originally was put into it, they've had to grow it in size, and that's causing half the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
It's not that CIG hates it per se. I know you're being hyperbolic, but at the end of the day, if I look at these two graphs comparing the Scorpio and the Bennu Merchantman, it actually looks like the Scorpio is actually going to be done after the Merchantman. On this deliverables, anyway. You compare those two graphs that I've posted.
Here's what I don't understand. Is the CIG can go and they could make a freaking a great cat or a cyclone in a matter of a month or two. And yet when it comes to a heavy fighter, it takes them the freaking rest of the year and into next year.
Well, you got to remember, right? The heavy fighter is a brand new concept. They don't have a template. They don't have a base. When it comes to the rock, they already had a base there. They've changed it, but they already had an idea. They already had a concept and everything like that. And also, you got to remember too, we don't know when they were starting to design the rock. When was it? Let's see if we can find it out. Actually. What was it? It was the Grey Cat, wasn't it?
Cat, you could do the Rock DS or the Rock in general.
ROC DS?
Yeah, you can try that, yeah.
Let's just try DS. Grey Cat Industrial Rock. Here we go. So there's nothing on the timeline for when they started or when they finished it. Duration was 11 weeks for the rock. Compared to the Scorp, 65 weeks.
You said that it was. Right, so it takes them 11 weeks to make up a brand new ground vehicle from the ground up, and it takes them 65 weeks to do a heavy fighter from the ground up.
Well, you got to remember that the actual the Scorpius itself doesn't actually start until Q4. So they've got 6 months. They've got October, November, December, January, February, March. So they've only got, 4 3s 12, 24. It's roughly about 24 weeks. The only reason why it's saying 65 is because Q2 and Q3 for it, it's not being worked on. So it's actually only around 24 weeks. Really. You just want your heavy fighter now, don't you?
I do. Because it will be the first useful and actually a loved heavy fighter in the game.
Oh, what about the Vanguard series?
No one loves that ship.
I mean, you also have the Hurricane.
Ew, definitely not that one.
I would
Yeah,
say the
I know.
Vanguard, when the Vanguard first came out, it was freaking everywhere. Everybody had it.
Yeah, that's with every ship that first comes out.
True. But, like we used to play with the Cobras and stuff like that, they always used to have a Vanguard series. They always running around the Vanguards.
Oh, how the metas have changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I to be honest, I always thought the Vanguard was a very formidable ship. But the problem with the Vanguard is that you generally need a person in the turret.
Generally, not really. I mean, you could have do without one pretty good.
You can do without it, sure, but it's better if you have the turret. But that's going to be the same with the Scorpius. The Scorpius, yes, you will be able to fly it, and you will be able to fire the 4 guns on your own. But unless you've got someone in the remote turret, you're only going to be using half your weapons.
I mean, it's the same deal with the freaking like Hurricane too. So
Yeah. Every heavy fighter is going to be the same. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting at is that the Vanguard has fallen out of favour. On my theory, it fell out of favour because people don't have the second person always to man the turret. If that's the case, then what's it say about the Scorpius?
what are we gonna do when they finally release the freaking Lightning?
Well, the F8 Lightning is a single pilot. Oh, single pilot for the
Yeah.
most part? Yeah.
It's a single a pilot heavy fighter with a crap ton of a firepower under its wings.
Well, the things like your Scorpius and your Vanguard, well, you're definitely your Vanguard, but your Scorpius might fall out of favour. But then we're not expecting the F8 Lightning to happen until, well, say we're right. Say they do release the game Squadron 42 the end of next year, for example. Say we're right about that. Then you won't get the F8 Lightning until then. So, between now and then, you'll have the Scorpius. Well, after January you will, anyway. So... I think your Scorpius and your Banyu Merchantman are going to come out in possibly Q1 of 2022, and I think they're going to come out in the next patch. I don't think you're going to get your Scorpius in your 0.0 patch. It's going to be a 0.1 patch. How does that make you feel, Ferrets?
Yeah.
Alright guys, apart from that, anybody have any questions, any final things before we jump off for the day?
Not really.
Ferrets?
No.
Do we have anything regarding ship information you want to talk about? Or we just basically talked about it?
Not really.
No. Alright guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think the Banyu Merchantman and the Scorpius will be coming out in the Q1 2022? Do you think the Scorpius and the Merchantman are going to come out in an X patch? Or do you think the merchantman might come out in Q2 or later? Let us know what your thoughts are about that or anything we talked about in the comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Please don't forget to go and give Ferret some love. He plays a lot on Twitch at the moment, playing Arena Commander. So obviously, feel free to jump into his chat and troll him as much as you want. Apart from that, have a great night. Enjoy yourself. And you guys want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Apart from that, thanks guys. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.